All right, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutations to you brothers through the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and also laboring in this word in truth, love, and sincerity, and may blessings fall upon the houses of the 1/3. And in this quick lesson, I want to go into how making a vow to the Lord was taken very seriously. Okay, and I'm going to go over the story of Jephthah and his daughter, and just in a quick example to show you how making a vow to the Lord is taken very serious. But before I do that, I want to get a few precepts. This is the book of Numbers 30, start at 1. It says, "And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow to the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth." You see? So if a man makes a vow to the Lord, right, he has to keep that vow, right? Okay? He cannot turn back on that vow that he made to the Lord. You see? Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 21. And it reads, it says, "When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy power, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy power will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbear to vow it, shall be no sin in thee." Verse 23, it says, "That which is gone out of thy that which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even as a free will offering, according to as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy power, which thou hast promised with thy mouth." Okay, so when you make a vow to the Lord, guess what? You have to pay that vow. That vow is required from you of what you have said. Okay, now let's go into the word vow. Okay, let's go right here. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to just use this one in Leviticus, the 7th chapter, the 16th verse. Vow, it says from the Hebrew nadar, it's vow, a votive, a offering, a promise to the Most High, or also a thing promised, a vow, right? A thing that's promised to the Most High. Okay, so that's what a vow is. All right, something you promise to the Most High. Okay, and you're going to see this in the example I'm going to use with Jephthah and his daughter. Okay, so let's get one more precept. It's the book of Ecclesiastes 5, verse 4. Let me see. Okay, so and it reads, Ecclesiastes 5, verse 4 says, "When thou vowest a vow unto thy power, or unto the Most High, Yahweh, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed." You see? Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Because guess what? You know, the thing that you vow to the Lord, it is required of you to pay that vow. Okay, it's required of you to keep that vow which you made unto the Lord. So that's why it says this in the 5th verse: "Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay." You see? Verse 6, it says, "Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should the Most High be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?" You see? So that's the point on that. Okay, so if you cannot pay that vow, it's best you lay your hand over your mouth and just, keep it to yourself and not make that vow to the Lord. All right. So let's get in this story. OK, and this is all through the Spirit, because this is where I was just going over and reading it. And I thought going over this chapter, and I'm like, hey, making a vow to the Lord was taken very serious. OK, so without further ado, let's go to the book of Judges 11, verse 1. It says, now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot, and Gilead begat of Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wives' sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob, and there were gathered vain men of Jephthah and went out with him. And it came to pass in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went up to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, did not ye hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are you come unto me now when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, what hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land, and when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon, even unto Jabbok, and unto Jordan, now therefore restore those lands peaceably again. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness into the Red Sea and came into Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereunto. And in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent, and Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. You see? So so just going into this a little bit, giving you a little background and history of what was taking place. Okay, because guess what? Ammon was coming to war against Israel. And the men of Gilead said, you know what? Hey, we need you, Jephthah, to be captain over us, to go to war against Ammon. Right. So you can read on down and get more edification of what was going on. I want to get to the point for the sake of time. So let's jump to the 29th verse. Okay. It says, Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of the Gilead he passed over the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow. You see, now we're hitting the point. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. You see, so Jephthah said, "Hey, Lord, you deliver these Ammonites into my hands. Hey, the first thing that comes through my doors, you know what? I'm gonna offer it to you. Okay, I'm gonna offer it to you as a burnt offering." You see, this is the vow that he made to the Lord. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Aroer, even till thou come to Miniath, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards, with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came into Mizpah into his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, At last, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. What did he do? He made that vow to the Lord. When you read above, what did he say? He said, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth, verse 31, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt up. I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Now, who's coming? The first person to meet him? His daughter. Okay? His only child at that. Right? Verse 35, it says, and it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, because he was feeling a time of feeling grieful, right? In the time of grief, in the time of mourning. At last, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do me according to that which proceedeth out of thy mouth. For as much as the Lord have taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even the children of Ammon. And she said unto him, Father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, and I and my fellows. And he said, Go and send her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to meet the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite 4 days in a month. 4 days in a year. So as you can see, making a vow to the Lord was taken very seriously. Even his daughter, was just like, hey, you made a vow to the Lord. Basically, I'm saying it in my own words. You opened your mouth to the Lord. Basically, you made a vow. You got to keep that, Dad. That's not what the scriptures say, but I'm just saying that so don't quote me on it. But that's what she was basically trying to say. You got to keep the words that you vowed to the Lord. And it was taken very seriously because he was going to do it. Okay, he did do it, Slocky. He kept his vow. Because when you make a vow to the Lord, that's something you have to keep. And it was very serious. You couldn't turn back and say, you know what, hey Lord, this is my daughter. I didn't know it was going to be her that was going to come through my doors first. No, you see, you said whatsoever, and your daughter just happened to be the first one. You see, so that's just a quick example to show you making a vow to the Lord was taken very seriously. Okay, that's just one example I wanted to go through. So let's read that again and we can close out. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 5, it says, when thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. And better is it that thou shouldest not vow, and then that thou shouldest vow and not pay. You see? So hey man, when you made a vow to the Lord, you had to keep that vow. Okay? The words that you vowed, those had to be kept. Okay, and you can clearly see that in this example of Jephthah keeping his vow to the Lord, that he made to the Lord. I'm dealing with the Ammonites being delivered into his hands. Even though it happened to be his daughter. You see? So that's the point. Okay. Hope this lesson was edifying. So the next time I want to say shalom.